Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Fucking Nerds with Friends. I wanted to throw the fucking in there so YouTube doesn't ever get a chance to monetize us.
Yeah, that way when we don't, we have an excuse.
Yeah, because we said fuck so much. Welcome everybody to the show. Lots of big news in the nerd world coming at you this episode. Lots of fun stuff. So thank you for listening, liking, and subscribing. Make sure you hit the little bell notification on YouTube if you want to find out when these shows drop, generally on Wednesdays and Thursdays, depending on how busy I am with work stuff. Just being honest.
Like, subscribe, share.
Share. Yeah, that's the best thing. I mean, I don't give a shit if you like or subscribe. Just tell your friends about us, you know? And if you do want to support us monetarily, you can check out patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. Lots of cool rewards on there. Really helps us out, helps us buy new mic cables, things like that. We do appreciate that. All right. Lots of new stuff happening, Christian.
Yeah.
We got Moonknight trailer just dropped with maybe some Easter eggs in there, which we can talk about in a minute. Microsoft just bought Activision Blizzard.
Which is probably going to push back Diablo further, which I don't think we're ever going to get that game. I want to play it so bad.
I mean, I don't really care. I mean, one thing that is potentially interesting is Call of Duty could become a Xbox exclusive.
Oh, shit. I didn't think about that.
I don't think it will, because...
Wait, that's not Blizzard.
It's Activision.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, one of them. Isn't there two? Like, one company does it and another one? The one that does zombies and the one that does new zombies?
Those are sub-studios that are still owned by Activision.
Fuck.
I don't think they will, though. And here's why. Because Call of Duty, and I know Call of Duty is a polarizing topic out there. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people are just indifferent about it. But it is one of the best-selling game franchises of all time.
Yeah, why limit it to one
So, system? I don't think Mr. Gates would allow that to happen, even though I know he's not the CEO anymore. But Microsoft loves money. And the reason why they spent $67 billion buying Activision Blizzard is to get their hands on some of that money. So I don't think it would ever become that. But there is a chance that other Activision Blizzard games in the future could be Xbox exclusives, Who knows?
Fuck. I wonder who's going to end up buying who. Disney buying Microsoft or Microsoft buying Disney?
Jesus Christ. It's all just going to be one company. So pretty interesting stuff. We'll see how that plays out, because now Microsoft making some big moves because they also bought Bethesda last year, which is another huge gaming studio. It's funny because a couple weeks ago I mentioned that I watched that Xbox documentary, Power On, I think it's called, or Power On, Power Up, something like that. And it really makes you understand kind of like how Xbox goes about business and how they did so well with the Xbox 360 and stuff. And so they're fixing for a comeback.
They are the Google of fucking gaming systems. Like, oh, you're competing? I'm gonna buy you. Fuck you, you're part of me now.
Hell yeah. It's the way to do it, for sure.
Surprised they didn't go after like Capcom or I know you have a love-hate relationship.
I know. I love Capcom, but they hate me. Well, if you look, I mean, I'm sure they could buy Capcom if they wanted to. I'm sure it's not evaluated anywhere near as high as Activision Blizzard is. Because you think Blizzard, you got World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, StarCraft, Warcraft, right? Those are all Blizzard games. Yep. And then you also have Activision, which,
and Hearthstone, which has been doing really well.
Hearthstone, yeah. Any of the, big-time PC games, are Blizzard games kind of thing. And then Activision, all the Call of Duties.
Let us not forget Spyro.
Yeah, Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot. But Sekiro, which is a Souls type game.
Mostly Call of Duty.
Mostly Call of Duty. God, I didn't have any idea there were so many Call of Duties. Prototype. That was such a good game. Why didn't anyone ever bring that back?
Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk, Pro Skater.
That X-Men game that no one played.
Yeah, X-Men Destiny. Fuck that. Yeah, man. I'll be interested to see what happens.
It'd be interesting to see Crash Bandicoot in like a Marvel vs. Capcom if they ever bought him.
Yeah, they just make like a Super Smash Brothers featuring all the people that they own now. But yeah, it is.
Just looking at the games, it's
mostly Call of Duty. But I feel like they own other studios that, own other games or whatever. But yeah, man, big time stuff. Yeah, remember Skylanders? That was a big thing for a while.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the one where you had to buy the little toys that you put on. I guess it was the Wii, maybe.
I don't know. Never played it.
And it like sucked that thing into. It was like Amiibos before Amiibos. Yeah, what a time to be alive.
On other news, there's a guy from Cobra Kai that just essentially canceled himself.
Nice.
Paul Walter, which he was also in Cruella, and there was other stuff. What else is he in? He's one of those guys you're like, when you see him, you're like, I've definitely seen him in something.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cruella, Cobra Kai, Reno 911.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, so he made the mistake of doing Twitter rants. He was upset about the movies that were getting picked for awards, and there was like a bunch of like foreign films, and it just kind of sounded ish like he didn't want to see people of color get nominated, which is how some folks took it. And he was like, "That's totally not it," and he just canceled his Twitter handle. So I'm pretty sure the dude's not going to get work. Which I'm wondering if he's going to continue Cobra Kai because. At least, you haven't seen it. Never mind.
I haven't seen it.
He might have a bigger part, but we'll see.
Nice.
It might be a way of getting him written out.
Yeah, he also played Richard Jewell in that movie where he was like based on the true story of the security guy who.
Wait, that was him? No, he was just in it.
No, he played Richard Jewell. That's him.
Shit.
Yeah.
Guy's a great actor. Didn't even realize it was him.
Yeah.
He looks so different.
Who cares if he's racist?
I mean, like, I don't think he was trying to be racist, but it definitely could have gotten mixed that way.
Maybe it was one of those things where you start to say something and you're just kind of rolling, and then halfway through you're like, oh no, I should stop now. I'm hearing the words coming out of my own mouth, and
I think he was just trying to be like pro-American films, and was just coming off as not people of color. But he definitely like just stopped. And I guess he was like big on Twitter, and a lot of people who were his fans were like, dude, you're better than this. Stop it. Like, don't do that. And now he just canceled all of his, just deleted all his tweets and canceled his account. So see what happens.
Yeah, dude, well.
Guys are just canceling themselves now. He's like, I'm going to beat everyone to the punch and just do it myself.
Honestly, that's the safer way of doing it. Because if he didn't get canceled by cancel culture, and he just got rid of his social media, hey, that's fine. Everything goes away, right?
Except for everyone else that remembers what you said.
Yeah.
Or screenshotted it. Yeah.
But I mean, at least he took himself out of the conversation for a while and, let that shit cool down a little bit. And hopefully he did it before he said anything too crazy. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be like, you know what? I just don't understand why all these foreign films keep winning awards that American films should do, It's like all these people, you're like, you know what? Just cancel my Twitter. right before it's like, the real problem is the Koreans.
I just don't understand, like, why, like, I don't know.
They come in here in a white man's land. You're like, Jesus Christ, bro.
I just understand. Just watch foreign films. Maybe there's a reason why they're getting nominated. Like, just give them a chance.
Well,
it just sounded to me like
watch The Matrix Resurrections. You can understand why other foreign films are being, are winning, because they're original ideas. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, like damn, what was the big one that we all watched and loved that just happened on Netflix? Fucking A.
Squid Game.
Yeah, Squid Game. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Show's awesome.
Parasite was the first foreign film to win a Academy Award.
I really, really enjoyed Parasite. The only thing is they got me with an old bait and switch. I honestly, the trailers made it seem like it was going to be a horror movie, and I was all about it. But it was still a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But I mean, who could have thought it was going to be like that?
Yeah,
you know
it was
still crazy.
It was still great, but I just thought I was going to a horror movie.
Like, yeah, not like straight up horror movie, but definitely an unsettling movie.
Right.
You know, the more you think about it and stuff. Good movie, guys. Go watch Parasite if you haven't watched it. All right, well, let's do some nerdy confessions where we confess the things that make us nerds. Christian, what is your nerdy confession?
I just finished Station 11.
Yep.
Station 11. And my nerdy confession, I was bummed by it. It started off to me. Did you finish it?
Yeah.
It started off so great.
It did.
And I was
then just fizzled out.
It just fizzled out like so bad. Like nothing. There was no conclusion to anything. There was no real villains. No one really overcame anything. It's like there was just so much buildup that led to nothing.
There was literally like
there's no payoff.
So the only payoff was what's her face gets to meet I can't think of his name. Jeevan. Yeah, she gets to meet Jeevan again. I'm like, oh, that was nice. But even that was like not satisfactory.
No, and
they had like one little scene together, and
that was it. And Jeevan was my favorite. I was like, oh, dude, this guy's awesome. What a good guy. He's helping this little kid. Like,
yeah.
And he knew like this. Like, I'm walking a fine line. Like, I really, really want to help this kid, but I could look like a creeper trying to do something terrible.
Not only that, but like once the end of the world. So, for those of you who haven't watched Station 11, it's essentially, a super flu takes over the world, and basically the end of society happens, and it focuses on this guy Jeevan who just was out of play, and sees this little girl who she's like a understudy actor for the play. She played like girl number 2 or whatever the fuck in King Lear, and she like no one's walking her home, so he's like, ah, fuck, okay, I'll walk you home. And then as he walks her home, he gets a call from his sister. Like, she's like, dude, go buy food and supplies. Like the end of the world is happening. You need to fucking go to your brother's house and hold up for months.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit. So he brings the little girl with him. And the whole time, you're right. It's like, he wants to be the nice guy and responsible, and take care of this little girl. But also it's like the shit's getting real. He didn't sign up to be like her dad now.
No. Yeah. And like there was a bunch of little things like when he's in front of her house, he's like, do I just leave her here? Her parents are more than likely dead. What's this little girl thing? I can't tell her parents might be dead.
Yeah.
Come home with me. Like that's not fucking creepy, but he has to find a way to do it. And to me it was just so good, and then it just fizzled out.
Yeah.
And it was just such a great story. And the graphic novel too is like, I didn't understand the fucking graphic novel. It was supposed to be like this big ass deal.
Yeah,
and it didn't make any sense.
There was never any sort of like, I thought like somehow the chick who wrote the graphic novel, like she had like some sort of prophecy or something, I kept waiting for something crazy to happen.
And it never did.
And nothing happened. Yeah.
It was just, I think this is the first time HBO has let us down with a show. It's like,
first time in a long time.
It started off so strong, and it just like,
yeah, I got real like sci-fi blue balls from this show.
Yeah. No, like when me and the missus, when we started it, we stayed up like 3 hours. Like, dude, we really need to go to bed. Like, no, I want to see what happens next.
Right. Yeah, because it kept like escalating and getting crazy, and there was like time jumps back and forth and stuff. And then you're like, oh, like nothing crazy happened at the end.
Like at all. And people who you thought were the villains, like, and that was another cool thing. And it's like, oh, this guy is like another hero or someone that's going to end up being good. Oh shit, they're really a garbage person. Well, they're not so garbage at the end. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, actually they're not so garbage. They just love Shakespeare together, and that's the end. And it was a big letdown. Because again, I like the thing, where Jeevan goes to the pregnant ladies, at Mattress Firm or whatever the fuck it was, and he like becomes a doctor. I like that. There's like good little sections in there, but like the whole thing with the prophet, nothing ever got resolved.
Nothing at all.
He just has a bunch of child soldiers, and that's just okay.
Yeah, and then, like they went and committed suicide because it was their own idea. Like, oh, the adult didn't influence them at all. Like, no, I had nothing to do with that. That's another sect.
They just wanted to do it because they read this comic book that I told them about or whatever.
And also didn't make much sense of why he left. In the beginning, it was like, oh, he's a little psychopath. He didn't like how society was going in this way. And so he decided, I'm just going to leave and make him think I died. And I'm doing this long con game of the plot I'm coming up with to come and take over where they're at. And it's like, nope. In fact, I don't even know what his motivation was for going back, like at all.
Yeah, I think he wanted to kill the beard dude. The dude
And then he didn't.
And then he didn't. Because he's like, I loved your dad too, because we were, gay for each other a little bit. And he's like, oh, I loved him too. And then they cried together, and then they leave.
And that was it. And he was a little piece of shit kid. He didn't love his dad.
That's what happens when you run away when you're like 10 years old. You're a little dick kid for the rest of your life. Also, did you notice in that show that like every single person was socially awkward?
Yes.
Like only socially awkward people survived the apocalypse.
No one that could hunt?
No, well, not even that. No one who knew how to talk to other human beings survived.
That's why they survived. They weren't talking to anyone. They weren't being social.
They were just in their apartments by themselves, and they're like, oh, I'm hungry. I should go out. And like, oh, what the hell is happening out here?
Everyone's fucking dead.
Yeah.
And like all those people in the airport were all very soft people. And it would have made more sense if you seen them transition from being like, okay, I'm used to things being very easy in life and I don't really have to do anything too strenuous, to becoming these hard people that had to learn to like farm or do these things. But no, life was just still easy for them in this airport. Like
they're like, yeah, we were the only ones in the country to figure out solar panels.
It's like,
all right,
cool.
You say so.
No one out there is hunting. Like, and then they showed the bandana people who were the meth heads, which I was like, all right, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and they had like a crazy poison or something that kills you, and like
they didn't expand on it at all.
Yeah, never hear from those guys again. They show up for one plot moment and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, if there's going to be people they're going to have a lot of energy and survive on very little food and calories, it's going to be meth heads. Like, that makes sense. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, they have their meth labs. They don't have to sleep.
But yeah, it just ended up being nothing.
Yeah.
It was just a big letdown. And I just pushed through it because, like, all right, I've already invested so much time in this.
Yeah, you got to finish it now. It's like, it was a letdown for sure. But, I will say, like, the first, like, I don't know, 3-4 episodes were great. It was one of those ones that fizzled out. But I am excited, speaking of HBO Sci-Fi, Raised by Wolves is coming back February 4th, I believe. So, excited for that. Ridley Scott, super sci-fi. That one didn't fizzle out at all.
No, it was good, and I definitely want to see where it's going. That.
My nerdy confession. This last weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, I gave myself a little Warhammer weekend, which was really fun. So I've been playing a lot of Warhammer Warcry lately. It's like a tabletop skirmish game based in the Warhammer fantasy Age of Sigmar world. And the problem is that I don't have very many people to play with. And my normal game group, we decided to take a little break from our weekly visits because of Omicron and whatever. Because we all work in retail and we're all exposed to hundreds of people all the time. So we decided to give that a little break for a while, but I still had the itch. So I've been slowly like trying to convert my other friends into playing Warhammer, and I got 2 of them this last weekend. My buddy Alex, I went over to his house and taught him how to play. And now he's like, oh yeah, fuck man, now I need to buy my own warband. Will you help me put it together? I'm like, yes, I will.
I'll even paint them for you.
Yeah. I've done that for one of my friends for sure. And then I went over to my buddy Anthony's house, and I had bought him a warband at Christmas time. I planted the seed early, and we put it together and primed it, and then we played with it on Sunday too. So excited! Now I just have to get you, Christian.
I know it's just way too expensive, man.
It can be. You can play this game for $50. Like that's how much it is to buy one warband. You know what I mean?
Can I just like make photocopies of your guys and just stand them up? Does that work?
I mean, I have 3 warbands, so you could definitely just use one of them and learn how to play them.
I mean, I'm down.
Yeah,
I don't have to spend $1, but I know what's gonna happen. Is I'm gonna play. I'm gonna end up liking it, and then I'm gonna.
Oh fuck, I like it.
And then I'm not gonna be able to paint them because I can't paint that small.
No, you can. I could teach you, or like one thing I will say for anyone out there interested in the miniature gaming world, who thinks like Christian that they can't paint miniatures, there's actually a lot of good. There's these new style of paints out there now called Contrast Paints, made by Citadel or Games Workshop, the guys who make Warhammer. And then a new copy of those kind of paints called Speed Paints by a brand of paint called Army Painter. And then Scale 75 makes, they're called Instant Colors. And these style of paints are designed for people who like, they just want to play the games. They don't want to learn how to do all the like crazy blending and, painting techniques. And what you do is you just, you prime your model, white, and then you just paint over in one big, in one, thick coat kind of thing. And this paint like sinks into the recesses and makes that darker, but keeps it, lighter red on top. And so it's like, it doesn't look as good as some of the ones that I do, but you can get a very good looking warband and be done painting in like, an hour or two, So, or I could just teach you how to actually paint, but
it's going to end up happening. Like my hand's going to be, because I'm like, so like, oh, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess this up, which is going to make me more nervous and make my hand shake more.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with your hand shaking too. Like, you don't want to be holding the mini like out in front of you and have your other hand with a paintbrush and be painting like this from far away. You want your hands together, like touching each other, making, as many points of contact as possible together, so you can be very, be very precise with your movements. Because the further you are away, the harder it is to control, your painting hand.
I'm going to need to buy like some very shitty, like miniatures just to practice on.
Yeah.
Just so like, I don't care if I fuck this up, just throw it in the garbage.
Well, one thing too is like, even if you fuck it up on good miniatures, you can throw them in a pool of simple green cleaner, and the paint will just fall off of them. So,
all right, we'll see.
Yeah, well, you don't have to buy anything. We could play together with the stuff that I have. I have more than enough to play with 2 people. But alrighty, well, we're gonna take a quick little short break for a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're gonna be talking about, I think, Moonknight and Book of Boba Fett. Wait.
No, not Book of Boba.
No, not Book of Boba.
Moonknight. Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. That's right. We'll be right back. And we're back. All right. So, big news, Marvel World, Moonknight trailer has dropped. Did you watch the trailer, Christian?
I have not, but I've been enough on Twitter where people are just throwing like screenshots.
One job. I sent it to you.
I know enough about it so far.
So, Moonknight is the new Disney Plus TV show starring Oscar Isaac. And that, I don't remember what the release date is, but it's coming up soon. I think
it has to be before the Doctor Strange 2.
March 30th, 2022. Yeah, so they released the first real trailer. Everything before, we just kind of got little teasers or screen captures or whatever. Also, I texted you earlier, a guy who's in it just died.
Yeah, in a ski accident. I saw that. I don't know who he's playing.
Gaspard Ulliel. He's a French actor. He played, I don't remember. He plays like one of Moon Knight's like bad guys or something like that. He had like a something man name,
All I saw was a ski accident, and
yeah, he like hit his head and died, which is very sad. But his legacy will live on.
I also did see that Oscar Isaac has a terrible British accent, and people were saying like, "Well, he's a great actor, so is this like a pump fake in the show? Like, is he supposed to have a bad accent?" So,
well, I think so. Part of the deal with Moon Knight,
he's crazy.
For those of you who don't know, he has like multiple personalities. Like, so I think that the whiny British guy is his main personality, Mark Spector personality, and then he when he's Moon Knight, he's gonna have like the fucking Batman voice or whatever, Oh no,
none of ours.
That's none of ours.
I thought Mark Spector was the Moon Knight persona.
Oh, maybe it was. What's his real name? Stephen Grant. Oh, Mark Spector, Moon Knight. No, I think Mark's. It doesn't matter. That's one of the crazy things about him is he basically becomes all these other people, but overall, like the idea of Moon Knight is he becomes possessed by like this Egyptian like god or something, the moon god. Oh yeah, here it is. Khonshu. Sounds pretty cool. And then yeah, he just like fights crime, but he's also insane. So he's
not fun insane like Deadpool.
yeah, just like fucking like wild card. Like when Moon Knight shows up, we don't know what's gonna happen. And a couple of the cool things, though, he's been affiliated with teams like the Avengers, Secret Avengers, West Coast Avengers, the Defenders. So we could potentially see them teaming up again. Midnight Suns with like what's his face, Ghost Rider. So lots of people, heroes for hire. Luke Cage. So it's definitely possible that he could team up with some of these other superhero teams. But we did find a picture online. I forget. Apologies for whoever posted that first, but we put it up on our Instagram. In the background of a car chase scene, you do see some boxes behind Oscar Isaac that say Vaughn, V-O-N, and then D, and then you can see the rest of the word is covered by a chair. So a lot of people are thinking that it might be a subtle nod to Victor Von Doom.
Which I don't know. I mean, as much as I want to see him, I don't know if they're going to do it just yet. There's a bunch of rumors going around that Reed Richards is going to show up in the Doctor Strange movie. Apparently, they're getting ready for the Illuminati. I don't know if they're actually going to fucking do it. But it kind of makes sense that they're bringing in a Submariner, so we'll see.
The Illuminati would have to be way off because you have to establish Professor X.
Which they're saying that they're going to do in this Doctor Strange movie.
Really?
Professor X, Reed Richards, which could bring in Doctor Doom. There's also been talks of Deadpool and Wolverine and the X-Men. It's just there's too much stuff. Although if they were going to do it, this would be the movie to do it, but I just don't know. I mean, I didn't think Spider-Man. My fear is that it was too much happening at once, but they made it work, so who knows? It could be a possibility.
Here's why Spider-Man worked, though, and that could potentially be really bad, is unless they directly brought the same actors from the X-Men movies and Fantastic Four movies we've already seen, which, judging by the Fantastic Four movies we've seen, would be terrible.
I don't think the guy from the first Fantastic Four was a terrible Reed Richards. I thought he was fine.
He wasn't terrible, but he also, like, the movie was just written poorly, and it was one of those early superhero movies that just, they were very hit or miss back in the day, right? But also you can't have that guy because he would see a picture of Captain America and be like, Johnny, is that you? Because Johnny Storm was played by Chris Evans.
Unless they do the robot one. Was it?
Oh, yeah, the robot. He was just called the Human Torch.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually had a name. They might have.
Yeah, why would you give a robot a name?
Yeah, exactly. That's the first step for them gaining, an identity.
Yeah,
and taking
don't
over.
want to do that.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that because essentially all the Fantastic Four movies have been terrible. Like that guy wasn't bad. And then, neither was the what's his name, Michael Chiklis, who played Ben Grimm, the Thing. But they weren't great either, you know what I mean? So I don't think they're going to do that. They're definitely not going to do Miles Teller and what's her face, Rooney Mara. That's her name.
No, they're definitely not going to do that.
They're definitely not doing that because that movie was a piece of shit. So they're not going to do that for Fantastic Four. If they were to do the same thing for X-Men, like, I would say their best bet would be to do the Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy X-Men, but also, like, those movies kind of fizzled out too. So I don't know. But the reason why the Spider-Man worked is, like, we knew Tobey Maguire and we knew Andrew Garfield. We had all collectively seen those movies. So when they show up, we know their backstory and what they've been through. If they do that with a new set of actors for the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, I don't think it would be as effective.
But who knows? Maybe that's why they brought in, I forgot the actor's name, but I really liked that actor, the guy from American Horror Story.
Yeah,
when he was
something Evans.
Yeah, when he was Quicksilver, I mean, like you saw him come in, he pretended to be Quicksilver, he ended up being someone else. That could have been a little fucking seed they planted just to get us ready. Like,
that's
all right,
true.
We're gonna switch things up. Like you might see some faces.
Yeah, I'd say of those properties between X-Men and Fantastic Four, I'd say X-Men was definitely the strongest one, and because they had the X-Men First Class universe, they definitely have the best chance of showing up in the new MCU, because the movies weren't that long ago, first of all, and they were fairly successful.
And hope they bring back Darwin. They did Darwin so bad. His one mutant ability is that he evolves to survive things, and then he died. So it's like his one power.
He didn't die. He just evolved into a statue.
He evolved into a statue that blew up. So unless he turned into like a gas and then just later comes back.
Yeah, he's just all around us. Darwin's a bullshit hero anyway. Like, can you imagine writing a compelling story involving someone who's like, yeah, his power is that he just gets better powers all the time. Like, oh, cool.
No, he just evolves. So, like, if you throw him in water, he'll get gills because he evolves to survive in water, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
so he survives literally everything,
yes,
is what you're saying.
Correct.
So what are the stakes of any story that he's ever written in?
I don't know.
There aren't any.
You get a mutant that de-evolves things, and boom, there you go.
He's like, oh, no, now I'm just a regular human.
Then he evolves to be able to evolve past that. I don't know.
Yeah. And he's like, I evolve past having a corporal body, and now I'm just a ghost. But, yeah, check out Moon Knight. Let us know what you thought of the trailer. I'm pretty excited for it. It does look pretty cool. It looks like definitely like dark and creepy, which I'm all about. And the one shot of the Moon Knight costume looked really good. And then Oscar Isaac's just fucking amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome. They're going to have to lean hard into him being kind of crazy and unpredictable, because I feel like he's going to, people just, because they're so familiar with Batman, they're just going to be like, oh, he's just Batman, only not rich. In a white costume. I don't know.
So a lot of people think, when they see Moon Knight, because let's be real, he looks kind of like a white Batman, except he has a moon on his chest. But Moon Knight is kind of like Batman, but if Batman and Bruce Wayne weren't aware of each other. You know what I mean? If Batman was like, I got to stop Bruce Wayne, he's tearing the city apart with all of his stupid monorail, bullshit or whatever. And Bruce Wayne's like, oh, that Batman's a menace. He's a vigilante justice. I just don't agree with it. And they turn out they're the same person. Like it would be really cool if, like, I don't know if they'll do it in this show, but if early on, if you have Mark Spector or whatever, Stephen Grant, I don't know what his name is. Basically, if they have the main character, the main non-Moon Knight character, if he's aware of Moon Knight out, like he hears stories on the news and he's like, what's this all about? And then he gradually becomes more and more aware of it throughout the show until he realizes that's him. That would be an interesting story. I don't know if they'll actually do that, but what are you going to do? I'm excited for it, though. Definitely check it out. Let us know what you guys think is going to happen and if you'll be watching. But now, let's go to the other side of the comic universe, to DC, with a little show called Peacemaker.
Which is actually doing... I enjoy it.
I enjoy it a lot.
I've been enjoying it, and I think it has a lot to do with James Gunn.
Yeah.
Because he can...
Let's say we'll do mild spoilers for the first 3 episodes.
3 episodes.
Yeah. That have dropped. It's not a super serious show like a Moon Knight would be. So it's not like we're spoiling much of anything on it, really. But
I feel we can go into details because there's not much.
It's not a plot heavy show.
Even outside of that, we still don't know what's going on. Like, we don't know what the main villains or the villains are.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of, but not really.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like when I watched the first episode of this show, so this takes place like 5 months after the events of Suicide Squad.
Which is crazy because when the show was announced, I thought it was everything. I thought it was going to be what led him to go to prison.
Oh no, yeah.
Because I was like, there's no way he could have survived that.
Right.
Anyone who's seen the second Suicide Squad movie.
Well, at the end of after the trailers, they show he's survived.
I didn't watch any of the trailers, so I just watched the show.
Oh,
so,
you just watched Suicide Squad?
Yeah. No. The Peacemaker. The show.
So you never watched Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
So after the credits of Suicide Squad, they show Peacemaker still alive.
Oh shit! Okay, I did not see that.
Okay, it didn't stay till the end of the credits.
Nope. No, it wasn't a Marvel movie.
Yeah. Also, I guess I should mention this now, Christian. There's a after credit scene after every episode of Peacemaker.
Okay, I didn't see those either. Fuck me. All right.
Those ones aren't super important. It's just obvious, like they're doing a lot of improv lines and stuff, and it's just extra bits of those improv lines.
Oh, I bet John Cena is actually pretty fucking funny, man.
And I think everyone in this show is super funny. The chick from Orange Is the New Black,
Tasty,
yeah, that's what her name was. I was gonna say I could remember, but she's hilarious. Like her interaction as like a like when she's giving her speech, like, hey, I'm just happy to be part of the team, I think you and me, us being two women, I got your back, you got my back, we're in this together, and you seem like you're really easy to talk to, and I can't wait to get work for you, and Peacemaker, like I know this is going to be difficult for you, but I think we get, and she's like, I shouldn't be giving this speech right now.
Yeah, I'm talking too much. I should probably stop talking. I'm not going to talk anymore.
Yeah. But one thing I feel about this show is that it's just watching the first episode, it makes me feel like, okay, James Gunn has just been given free reign to do whatever he wants. And it's awesome because, like, at the end of the day, that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
We just want James Gunn to do James Gunn, and we trust him to do his own thing and make it work. But watching the first episode where he especially with like the intro where they're doing like this fucking dance.
It was so weird. I skipped the intro.
It's so good.
I watched it the first time. I was like, dude, I know they're being awkward on purpose, but it's still pretty awkward. Like,
it's
all right,
so
I'm
funny.
just gonna skip it. I did enjoy Eagly just coming
Eagly,
out. Just kind of like
I love knock something down. I love Robert Patrick dancing in the intro too. For those of you guys who don't know, he's the T-1000 from Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Who ends up being his dad, who's extremely racist.
Yeah, what's
and
his,
homophobic.
What's his like super villain name? White Dragon. It's like, oh Jesus Christ. Danielle Brooks. That's who we were talking about. Who just played Tasty in Orange Is the New Black. Yeah, man. It's been really fun so far. I like his like best buddy Vigilante, who's like a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
He's like,
but he's not racist.
He's not.
He's not.
He just kills bad guys.
He's killed more white people than non-white people.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to him.
According to him, he's like, yeah, we just kill bad people, and sometimes that's a mistake, but at least we tried.
Which I love that they're like, they're not stating that Peacemaker is racist. But there's hints that he might possibly, and it's not. It's just the way he grew up. His dad's extremely racist. I don't think he wants to be.
Right. And it seems like he doesn't even necessarily want to be killing people all the time.
No.
Even though, what was his line from Suicide Squad? He's like, "I love peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I have to kill to get it."
Yeah.
It's like, oh Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a fun show. And John Cena is he's like giving it his all for sure. Like the scene when he goes home with the butterfly chick.
Yeah. Which she had a name, which I thought was weird because I don't think they said it in the show, but she has like a German name.
Oh, really?
Which I'm pretty sure her last name just means like whore in German or something.
Nice. Yeah, she, that was a funny, is it Annie Sturphausen?
Yeah.
Played by Crystal Mudry. Yeah, I don't know if that has any significance in the DC universe, if she was supposed to be someone or whatever. But that was so funny when he's like singing along to Choir Boys or whatever,
Okay, so I thought I knew a lot of metal bands. Apparently,
Yeah.
I don't know enough. Like this show, like been throwing songs I've never heard of.
Yeah. Well, I think, like I know Cinderella and I know, the Scorpions and Rat and, a bunch of those guys. But like I hadn't heard of Choir Boys, or there's a couple other ones in there too. But you can tell that James Gunn was obviously a fan of the 80s hair metal bands, because they feature prominently in this show. But, I love it. It's fun. It's not super serious. And like the action that they've had so far is great. I liked Judo Master.
Yeah,
Was he hot Cheetos?
yeah, the whole time.
And he's like flicking it out. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Or even the tall bodyguard, his buddy, he's like, "Can I get one?" He's like, "No, you don't need the calories." He's like,
He's like, you don't need the calories.
he's just like eating them. Yeah. No, there's a bunch of funny lines that I had to rewind. Like, I missed that. Like, I feel like I missed a joke there, and there's a whole bunch of them. Like when he finds out that I forget the character's name, but Tasty. When he finds out she's a lesbian, he's like, "Oh,
Leota Adebayo."
He's like, "That's awesome. I'm an ally." He's like, "No, you're not an ally." He's like, "Well, I got 400 gigs in my hard drive that says I'm an ally." It's just, there's a whole bunch of
good.
There's a whole bunch of lines like that you just miss if you're not paying attention.
I know. So funny. And I like Amelia Harcourt. She's like super badass when she like owns that guy at the bar.
Oh yeah.
That was fucking super funny. And then Steve Agee, who's like, he's a stand-up comedian. He's amazing.
What does he call him? Dye beard or something?
Yeah, dye beard. He's like, "Don't dye my beard." Oh yeah, it just grows in 2 different colors like that. Yeah, so funny. It's a great show. I think everyone should check it out. I'm excited to see where it goes and kind of what else is happening. Oh man, the janitor guy in the beginning.
He's hilarious. He's hilarious, and I hope he has more parts.
Yeah, he's funny. His name is Rizwan Manji. He's been in a bunch of stuff. I think he was on The Daily Show for a while, wasn't he? Wasn't he one of the correspondents?
I don't know.
But you know him if you saw him. He's hilarious. And the first scene of this show was amazing. And he was like, "Can I trust you or something?" He's like, "No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No, don't trust me. I don't know
Come on,
you."
man. Come on, man." He's like, I smoked weed with you. I was in a wheelchair. He's like, and yeah, that was a nice moment, but it doesn't mean you should trust me with anything. I went to MIT and I'm doing this. Like, obviously, I don't know how to apply myself. He's like, "You went to MIT?" I know, right? That's what I'm saying. So good. I mean, I think that DC here, I feel like there's a shift happening in the nerd world.
We've said it multiple times here: is that DC makes shit movies, but they make great shows.
Right. That's true. That's true. They've always been very strong contenders in the realm of shows. Doom Patrol is really good. The live action Titans show is very good.
Even Teen Titans.
Titans, yeah, the cartoons, very good. So yeah, it's they're definitely showing up well with this. And I like that Suicide Squad movie though. I rewatched it before the show came out.
The James Gunn one, yes.
Yeah, and it holds up 100%. But the thing that made it good is that it knew what kind of movie it was trying to be from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's trying to be an action comedy, where the original Suicide Squad like didn't know what it was. It tried to have like comedy elements with, Harley Quinn, but then it was also super serious and up its own ass with everyone else. And then there was a Joker thrown in there for some reason. But yeah, James Gunn, I think DC pulled the right move, letting James Gunn do his thing and just, go for it.
I was really hoping the Polka Dot Man would survive. I really liked him, and him just trying to imagine everyone being his mom and him just killing his mom everywhere. Particularly when she was the giant starfish. That was fucking hilarious.
That was amazing. Or like when he's at the club and they're all dancing and he's just like, yeah. That was such a good movie. Go watch. If you guys haven't seen it for some reason, watch Suicide Squad and start watching Peacemaker. Because
in fact, I think after watching the 3 episodes, and I too watched Suicide Squad not too long ago, but I think if you watch the 3 episodes and then go back to watching Suicide Squad, Peacemaker's character starts to make a little bit more sense, because there's times where like he wants to be friendly and like he wants to make friends, but like he fucking can't. Like he'll just be a dick out of nowhere.
Right. And it's you know, a lot of that comes from his dad. Is that you see that he grew up with an absolute dickhead for a dad, and you know, his whole life he's just been trying to impress his dad and you know, get him to, you know, be proud of him essentially, and obviously that has led him down some wrong paths, and he's just. But you see that overall,
Yeah, like
he's got a good side to him. Like in the Suicide Squad when he was like, when they're at the bar and he's like, and they're pouring drinks, he's like, hey, you forgot the rat.
yeah, because he's part of the team.
It's part of the team.
But not only that, like with King Shark, when he's like mad at him for not putting up the bombs where they're supposed to, but then he makes like a little toy version of Peacemaker. He's like, "That's very nice, King Shark. Thank you." But like he was being like genuine.
Very nice.
Yes,
but doesn't look anything like me.
It's like he was being nice, and then he had to be a dick. He's like, "Wait, I'm being too nice. Like,
Yeah,
this guy might end up being my friend. I can't have that."
I know. Yeah, it's you don't have to have like a very like dour drama kind of movie to give characters depth. You know what I mean? Like he's a comedic character for sure from the beginning, but he actually has a lot of character growth, and he's a very deep, thought out character.
Not only
and
that,
John Cena's amazing. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, in the first episode where like he's crying that he killed, I forgot the guy's name.
Randall.
Well, no, not Randall Flagg. Well, it was
Rick Flag.
Rick Flag. Like he's bummed out about it. He's
Yeah.
like, you know, he's like, everybody hates you, and like you killed him. He's right. You're a joke, and he's like hitting himself.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit. Like he walks around like he's this heartless person, but he doesn't. Like this shit weighs on him.
Yeah, like he did that because that's what he thought he had to do. Like he thought he was doing the right thing by protecting that data from getting out. Which, you know, you think about it, like he might have been doing the right thing, you know?
Well, I mean, like his thought process was, if this gets leaked out that the United States had something to do with this, it could start like a big war,
Right?
or you know,
A
like
coup or something.
yeah, like this would prevent less death if I did this. And I mean, if you kill a guy who I respected, he was like the one dude he did respect. Like throughout the whole time, he didn't like make fun of him. And
Yeah, him and Bloodsport, him and Bloodsport actually were more friends than they let on.
it was like a more I want to show you that I'm better than you, but at the same time, like I want your respect. Like,
Yeah, he's like, God damn, he's fucking right. He's like, quit showing off. He's like, it's not showing off when I just do it better than you. He's like, shit, he's fucking right.
Actually, that reminded me of the one scene in the first episode where his dad is being a dick the whole time, and he finally makes his dad laugh by telling about his teammate that was afraid of rats.
Yeah.
And he was like terrified, and he's like, tell me that's not the guy that shot you in the neck. He's like,
God, how'd I raise such a pussy? Yeah, his dad is the worst. He's like, oh, is that a new lamp? He's like, no, it's 3 months old. He's like, I've been in prison for 4 years.
yeah, it's still not new.
Still not new. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see where it goes from here, and if we'll see any other like cameos from other DC properties.
I feel like they do. It's going to be a bunch of random characters. It's not going to be big names. Like it's going to be people like Judo Master, like you know, a bunch of nobodies, or Polka Dot Man, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. Like,
hopefully we get the Weasel back. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because Weasel might show up. Oh, this is kind of a cool effect. Look at that. It highlights the name. Eagly. We didn't talk at all about Eagly, the eagle. Do you think they're using puppets and CG?
It has to be. I mean, there's some parts that look pretty good, or even like a puppet and then CG on top, because there's some parts that look a little mechanic, even though you could tell it's CG.
Right.
Which I'm fine with. I mean, for what they're using it for.
Yeah, like when Eagly gives him a hug.
That was pretty funny.
Like, that could very easily be like someone draping wings over him and just moving the little eagle head over. But
I would just...
Daddy's hugging me. Give my phone. I don't want to move.
I would also just say I wouldn't fall in love with that. I mean, I wouldn't fall in love with the animal. I just feel like, as much as I don't want anything to happen to Eagly, something's probably going to happen to Eagly.
Like, he brings him the dead possum after he blows up that chick.
Yeah. I mean,
how violent was that also?
That fight was pretty good.
Yeah, that was so good. When he's like singing into the vibrator. That was amazing. I think, I forget who I was telling this to, but I feel like watching Peacemaker, we're witnessing what happens when James Gunn has gone mad with power. Like, there is no joke too crazy for them to put in here. No set piece too ridiculous. Like, you got John Cena in his underwear, tighty whities, singing into a vibrator and dancing around a room with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he gets in a knife fight with a chick who's also in her underwear with a fucking Joe Dirt haircut.
She did have a Joe Dirt.
Yeah, 100%. Just grows in all white trashy like that.
Yeah, there was even a vagina shot out of nowhere when they were showing the still.
That was so funny. It's like, yeah.
I felt that pain because the whole joke about that was that like, she sent it to me on WhatsApp, and they're like, oh yeah, WhatsApp, dude, like
WhatsApp saves it to your phone automatically.
And it does. I was like, I was in a stupid like WhatsApp group, and like anytime someone would send a photo, and I was looking through my phone, I was like, why the fuck is that fucking photo in here? And I would delete it.
You got to go into your settings.
I did have to. I learned that on my own. I learned it before the show, but when it happened in the show, I'm like, yo, I feel that fucking pain.
Yeah. She's like, basically, what's happening? She has an iPad and she's going through like
showing mission
pictures, like the maps of the layout of the building, people of interest and stuff. And she swipes and there's a picture of vagina, which is like her wife's vagina, and she's like, oh God, sir, I'm so sorry. My wife, we're trying out new things, and she sent me a WhatsApp message, and I didn't know WhatsApp automatically saves it to the iPad. He's like, yeah, you got to change that. And I'm sorry, we're just trying new things, trying new boundaries.
It was everyone on the team that was like joking around, and like the leader, the boss, was just like, I don't care.
It's
like,
fine. Just continue on with the presentation. It's so good. The team dynamic is great. Like, I love every person on that team for a different reason. And hopefully we'll see what's his face have some more Clemson Mern.
All we know is that he's a mercenary too, and he's done some fucked up shit.
Yeah, exactly. But and he's never shared his feelings ever before.
Although he said he was cold, even though he wasn't really cold.
He
just wanted the opportunity to
share. He's like, oh, good for you. It is. It's a really big deal. I've literally never shared my feelings before. He's like, what? You've never shared your feelings?
Like, nope, not even.
You never said I'm chilly? No. What would that have anything to do with anything?
He's like, you never said you were hungry? No.
No.
What, are you going to give me a snack? What, are you going to feed me?
Yeah.
Is the big man going to feed me?
Yeah, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Insane person. Yeah, so there's lots of people that we'll hopefully find out more about. But check it out, guys. Peacemaker is excellent so far.
I just hope it's more than just 6 or 7 episodes. I hope to go for a while.
That seems like it's the trend nowadays.
Well, we don't know with HBO and DC shows. Although I feel like Raised by Wolves was like 6 episodes, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, at least do 10. You know what I mean? Like, Game of Thrones was always 10, and that worked out fine forever. And then they switched to 6. Look what happened.
Yeah,
it's the worst season of the show. Yeah, I just think that, and I get it, like, budgets are a concern. But, like, let's just plan that into the budget. Spend $100,000 less on each of the 6 episodes. Boom. You got $600,000 for the last 2 episodes, you know?
Yeah. As much as I love Eagly, if it's too much to put the CG.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. If, I love having, what's his name? Robert Patrick, in the show. But if you can just get another racist old guy to be in the show.
They're not hard to find.
Like, that's fine. It doesn't have to be him, but it's fine. It's a great show, and I'm sure they'll do a good job with it. But I just worry about that kind of stuff. Like Wheel of Time, famously, I've said it a couple episodes ago. It was great, and I really enjoyed it. But like the first episode felt way rushed, and so did the last 2 episodes. And I think they originally planned to do, what was it? They planned to do 2 extra episodes or something like that, and Amazon said no. But now that it's top of the Amazon charts of all time, hopefully it'll we'll get a little bit more money.
They're saving all that money for Lord of the Rings, the Ring of Power.
Oh yeah,
the Rings of Power.
The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. That got the official title, so that's supposed to come out this summer. Yeah,
I think so.
I'm down.
With Hot Sauron, I believe is what they're doing.
Hot Sauron?
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna.
He's just gonna have fucking abs.
Just a hot boy summer.
He just wears the big Sauron helmet and just no shirt. And he's just fucking.
I mean, we could go.
He's just cut.
Just what do you call them?
Cum gutters.
That's the ones. Then the ones.
And everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say cum gutter. Right?
I've never heard that term until you said it, but as soon as you said
I bet if I type it into the internet, and this is a risky move, Christian, but
that's what we do for the show.
I bet that's the first thing that shows up. Here we go.
We're gonna have to show on YouTube the first thing that comes.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Well,
the first one, I got it.
We did get what Cody was talking about, but we got
also
more
got a lot
than
of
we
dicks.
asked for.
But I mean, like, I get it. Oh God, Jesus Christ! But look,
that guy's pecs looks like an ass. Like, that's fucking insane.
That's crazy. I mean, good for him. But this, literally, the first image has a arrow pointed to him. All right, let's get that off the screen. A lot of dicks.
That's the podcast computer he did it on too.
Yeah, I didn't even go into private mode on the old browser. That's gonna be there forever. But yeah, I would be. That would be awesome if Sauron was just like that. He's just like, "Oh, what's up, guys? I got some rings for you. I also got these." This is all glistening.
They're just all cock rings the whole time.
I don't trust this guy. I think he's like an evil lord of everything. It'll be cool. I mean, it'll be cool to see what the original Rings of Powers, like we only got so little of that in the original like books. I know the Silmarillion went into more of that stuff, right?
I just hope that it's dwarven heavy because the dwarves, I feel like they never get spotlight.
They had three Hobbit movies. They can fuck off.
But they don't get a lot of the history,
Yeah.
Like, sure, they had the three Hobbit movies. But
they're always like chilling under a mountain, doing mountain shit,
Just getting gold and mithril.
Oh, give me all that gold. No.
You just showed me a video earlier about, what was it?
About like racism in fantasy.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It's the last safe place, really.
It's true. It's like, oh, they're like, oh, sounds just like a dwarf, always after his gold. He's like, whoa, let's not generalize.
Yeah, we all know from our last episode or 2 episodes ago, it's the goblins, according to J.K.
it's
Rowling.
goblins. I like on the anti-Semitic Harry Potter episode, someone on our YouTube just was like, wow. And I'm like, I'm not even going to respond to that. I'm just going to like let that comment sit there because I don't know if it's a good wow or a bad wow or just like, wow, one of those.
Like, blew my mind.
Yeah.
My eyes are open.
Well, yeah, exactly. I like to think that that's what it was.
I have a feeling when it comes to things like that, you didn't watch or listen to the episode.
That's what most of them are.
I feel
for
like
sure.
we make it really clear. Like, this isn't what we're saying. This is what someone else said, and we're pointing out how stupid and ridiculous it is.
But in the thumbnails, I definitely don't make it clear at all. These are our thoughts. Come up with what you will.
What we need is another Aliens one.
Oh yeah, we need to do another Aliens ones. But let us know what you guys think on the old Peacemaker and the Moonknight. Are you guys excited for that? Let us know down in the comments. We do love comments, even if they're unspecific or if
just wow.
Or if they're just wow, or if you just haven't even watched the episode and you just want to comment on it, that's okay, I guess. We'd prefer if you listened and you wouldn't
not comment, or both.
And you wouldn't hear this if you hadn't watched it. So, thank you everyone for getting to the end. But let us know down in the comments. Like and subscribe. That's really important for us. Helps us out. And it's free. But something that's not free? Patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. That's where you can help support the show. Become one of our patrons and get some fun rewards along with that. We already have quite a few patrons, and that's why we raise their names up to the heavens every episode. Thank you, patrons, for supporting the show. You're the best. Christian, as always, thank you for, not watching the one trailer that I sent you for the show.
I'm going to watch it. I know enough.
Doesn't matter now. The episode's over.
I'll make sure next episode I have more images of cum gutters to put on.
There you go. Yeah, you got to keep those in the old spank bank. To all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Thank you and good night.